Hey everybody, welcome to Open by Accident. I'm Matt.
And I'm Nick.
And we're going to do an unboxing of a newly released game for the 3DO, show you some gameplay, and share our thoughts on it.
Let's jump right in.
All right, let's get into this package. This came from World of Games Publishing. I purchased this actually on eBay from their eBay store. It came in a manila envelope, but it does look like it is double padded as well. So what we have here is a newly released game for 2024 on the 3DO systems. And what we have is BIOFURY. This is a first-person shooter, kind of in the vein of like Doom or Wolfenstein 3D. So this will be really fitting for the 3DO system since both those games were already pre-existing on there. The game is available on their website for $29.99 plus $5 shipping, as well as like through their eBay store if you feel more confident buying on eBay. But let's dive in and see what we got. It's in a jewel case.
It's exciting seeing a new game, from 3DO.
Yeah, totally. So right off the bat, the disc looks really nice. It does look like it is actually a pressed disc as opposed to like a burn disc. I don't know how I feel about the quality. It's different on the front.
It does look kind of like a sticker just from...
Maybe it's me. Maybe you can handle that and see. It almost feels a little like flimsier than like a normal traditional CD.
It does feel...
The jewel case is just a generic jewel case. Nothing too exciting to report there. It is kind of cool though. It does have a full color manual. They do offer other games like for the Philips CDI and Dreamcast, but this is the only 3DO offering they have so far from World of Games Publishing. The manual feels of good quality. It's very brief. It's got controls, how to turn on the system, brief description of gameplay, weapons, enemies in the game, helpful hints, and then looks like they have like cash rewards for finding games, and then some other offerings they have. But it doesn't feel too bad. And then you do have back artwork and side artwork on a jewel case. They did offer this in limited numbers with a traditional long box that you normally see for a 3DO game.
Very cool.
But they were limited to I think like 100 or less. Okay. And I just wasn't aware of the game when it came out. I did buy this, like 4 months after it came out. So I think this was a January release. And I just received it about a month ago. But let's check out BIOFURY on the 3DO.
So first impressions on BIOFURY were a little less than desirable.
Maybe a little shaky at best.
Yeah, a little shaky. It seems less than polished. It seems very dark. It might have been the TV we were using, right. But it was very hard to find hallways to go down.
Probably the only other big gripe we got is the controls.
The controls, yep. Strafing was very fast, but turning your gun was very slow. So it was a mix mash of getting shot because you weren't, lining up your gun correctly. So
I almost found like the strafing was like unusable because it was so fast.
I didn't bother using it. I just kind of focused on the slow aiming and kind of went with that.
The game has a lot of promise though.
It does.
I feel like this is like almost like an early build of the game in my opinion. When you compare it to other like first-person shooters that are on the system, I feel like maybe a little more polish and it would be a fantastic game. It definitely has replayability though.
Yep, the enemies are cool. The little death animations are cool.
Right. You've got the little notes and stuff that are kind of carrying the storyline of a FPS from a game that's like designed around early 90s FPS.
Right.
So it's like having some sort of story at all is kind of interesting. But we did do a little comparison direct to with Wolfenstein 3D because I do own that on the 3DO. I don't own the Doom port. I've actually never played the Doom port, the 3DO. I've owned a 3DO since I was a kid, and Doom was never on my radar because I owned it on the 32X. So I guess from a lot of people's perspective, dodged a bullet because I guess the 3DO version is not that good. But the Wolfenstein 3D port is actually really good, and you can see everything very clearly because everything's real nice and vibrant colors. And
Controls are much faster.
Yes, and responsive.
Right.
It always felt like in BioFury, like when you'd hit a button, there was like a little bit of a delay almost.
One thing I did notice with the controls was in BioFury, it had you pressing B to shoot and then A to switch weapons, whereas in like Wolfenstein, you push 2 buttons at the same time to switch weapons because that's not really a big deal, So it takes up one of the 3 buttons you have to switch guns, and then you have B shooting, right, which should have been A. I don't know. It's a little thing.
Yeah, definitely. The controls set up for Wolfenstein, I think, were a little more thought out than BioFury. And I don't remember if there was an option menu in BioFury. Maybe it's something you can easily change. But it's I'm not disappointed in it, given the price point. It was a $30 game. Like I said, it's available on eBay or the World of Games publishing website. But it's just so cool to have a new game in 2024 for the 3DO, right, because we haven't had a new game in years. And this is, like a newly developed game. So I don't want it to sound like we're like totally bashing on this game. It's just, we want people to know that it's not going to play as well as like Wolfenstein 3D. And while visually, Doom is not good from what I understand, it might actually probably play better because the controls actually are good. This is a little clunky.
And I think that's our problem, is going into it, I was expecting something as polished as Wolfenstein, but it's from, kind of a third-party developer, not as one of those AAA people, so it's obviously not going to be as
This could have been done by a team of a couple guys.
Right.
Versus, like,
and if that's the case, wonderful job. I mean, the game itself looks great for the shelf.
The presentation's great. I kind of wish that I would have got in early and got the long box, because I do like the long boxes for the 3DO, but I'm not disappointed at all with the quality of the booklet, the inserts, or the game disc itself. This game does have 12 levels of brutality, multiple weapons. We did find the shotgun in the game.
Yep. And I'll go back to the animations. Like the animation of pumping the shotgun was really cool. They did a really good job on that.
I think visually the only, hindrance was the fact that you get into certain corridors and it was just like black.
And you tell us if anybody else that has maybe played this, let us know if it's dark for you, if it's your TV, our TV, I don't know. But
I hope that we see more releases for the 3DO from World of Games. I will definitely support them and buy them in the future. I really want to do some more content on the 3DO. We did fire up a few other games while we had the system hooked up. We played Demolition Man. I showed him Way of the Warrior.
Great soundtrack.
As well as Shadow War of Succession, some really bad fighters.
Yeah, very bad.
That full motion video era of games.
I love full motion video characters in games, like the Mortal Kombats, whatever. And so these were cool in that aspect, but just the gameplay was so bad.
Yeah. I've been able to rebuild a lot of my library that I had as a kid. Unfortunately, when I was younger, to get new games, I traded games. So I got rid of my 3DO games when I was younger. I was able to actually keep a handful of them. And I've actually replaced some and then added some new games that I've never owned before. So I've got a little bit of a library of 3DO that I'd love to share with the channel. So if you'd like to see that, definitely leave a comment below. But tell us, and also, have you guys checked out BioFury for the 3DO, and what are your thoughts? I would recommend it, but I'd just go into it knowing full well that it's not quite Wolfenstein 3D on the 3DO. It's probably better than the Doom port on the 3DO, but it's still pretty good, and it's going to be very playable. It's just, you're going to have to spend some time getting used to those controls.
100%. Yep.
So. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out other stuff that's available on the channel. You can also check out our podcast. We do have episodes available of that as well. Otherwise, we appreciate your guys' time, and stick around for more content to come.
We'll see you next time.